Hunt for the spring salmon, part 3. We're fishing the River Tyne today on the Dilston beat. The water's at a lovely height. We have got a downstream wind, but I can deal with that. It's looking super fishy. It's a little bit bright. Could have done with it being a bit more overcast, but there has been a few fish coming through Bywell, so they should be lingering about this area before they can get over the bridge at Hexham. So we'll not mess about. We'll get kitted up and we'll get on the water. So, River Tyne, here we are again. And there has been the first fish caught down at Bywell, which is a couple of miles downriver, which was good. The fish are running. So hopefully one or two have come up over the fish pass and have moved up into this bit of water before they go tackle the next obstacles further upstream. As per usual, it's always windy at Dilston. I don't think I've ever been here when it hasn't been windy, even in the heights of summer. Luckily today it's a downstream wind. Means we should be able to cover it alright with the double haul. Might have to change to the 15-foot rod with a bit more punch, but I'm just trying to remember from last year when I was here. I'm pretty sure you start at the top end of this island and work your way down, if I remember rightly. The wading's not too bad, but there's the odd boulder and stuff and the bottom's a bit slippy. It is just at a nice height. Get some line out. Dilston fishes well in low water. Need a little bit of water, but I've got a nasty big heavy 8 sink tip on as well, which is going to make things interesting to start with. A bit more line out. There's not much flow on the water here, so I think this is why you normally start with a lighter fly, but if I remember right, you start with a nice long line. Last time I fished here there was fish rolling behind us, but the advice was to start just whacking it straight out, so just shorten that line up and put a little short line just in case there's any line in front of us. There's only a part-time gilly here, if I remember rightly. I'm not expecting anyone to turn up. I think there's another rod on the water today. I haven't seen anyone as yet. So we'll have to get some practice on that 15-foot rod today. I'm going up to fish the Tyne for a week at the start of April. I really need to be casting that rod before I go. It's never touched the water yet. Fly is coming around nice. You'd like to think there's anything lying here. It's not mega deep, it's only a few foot deep, waist deep maybe. Maybe a little bit deeper there. The water level's up a little bit, but water clarity's good. Come on, it'd be lovely to get our first fish before we go away to Scotland. Won't be for lack of trying. This is down as part 3 on YouTube, salmon, the hunt for a spring salmon part 3, because some of my club waters don't allow video recording, so I have been out a few other times on my local waters, but they're just little spate rivers on the, it's just a little spate river on the river here, so it's a little bit early yet. But it's good casting practice if nothing else. The river is highest I've fished it. There's normally some big boulders and stuff you can see. Should have brought me wading stick really. It does get a bit deeper as you go down past this pool. And there's some deeper pools behind us which I haven't gotten around to fishing yet, to be honest. I've always fished this part and I've always seen fish. So I just tend to stick to here. You can get a full day's fishing in here easy. Let's see if we can get a few more yards and get right to that far bank. Just keep that moving as it comes to the end of the drift there, and I'm pretty sure the fish hold the far bank, although I know my mate had one on this side. He's fishing a short line, but from what I've, it's just a little bit too much line out. There is supposed to be another rod out and but there's no one here as yet. I would have been here earlier if I'd had my way. I had to do the school run. We're practically reaching the far bank there now. Coming around nice now, a little bit more pace on the water. We're into March now, second week of March, so you'd expect not massive numbers of fish to be running, but there will be some coming through. We're in with a chance, even though today's is what we cast and practice, even though I'm not using that rod yet. I'll save it for later. Come on. There's a bright sun, but it's sort of behind us, so it wouldn't be directly in the fish's eyes. It might be as the day goes on. I'm not sure if I started too far up, but I thought I would cover that water anyway. It's hard to tell. I'm more familiar with the water when it's lower. I have fished here a good few times, but the water's always been a lot lower, so I can't see the features that I normally recognise to know where I start fishing from. I know there's some kind of concrete platform comes out here, but the fish lie behind like an underwater croy, hence why the steps are on the other side for the other angling club. And I know the fish hole on the far side there. And then there's a couple of big boulders in the water down here. I can just see the peak of one of them sticking out. So I can sort of get my bearings, but it is a little bit difficult when you haven't been for so long. It's not somewhere I would say I fish regularly. I maybe fished it 4 times last year. Purely in the spring because it's only £30 a day all the way until May. really good value for money because it's a nice bit of water. And a really good chance of a fish, especially later in this month and through April. If we have water, there's as good a chance of fish as anywhere, really, I suppose. There's a lovely bit of water further down where I really like. I've always fancied a fish. I have hooked into a fish there before, and a sea trout. I lost them both, but there's a nice fast bit of water. It's quite deep as well. It's just starting to thin out here, but I believe this is where the best holding water. So I've been told. I think it's all the features and stuff, all the rocks and boulders, and but it's not very deep. But apparently fish as well at this depth. Somebody in the comments might be able to tell us different, but I believe where the hut normally is, which is where I'm approaching now. I think I might have started a little bit far back. Here's one of the really good hot spots. I thought this sink 8 tip and a brass fly with a tungsten corner would be catching the bottom straight away, but as yet we're not. It's only a 1/2 inch brass tube, so hopefully it's just getting down to the perfect depth. I might start catching the bottom soon as this water thins out. I just heard something splash. I do occasionally see an otter in here. I've just heard something, a big splash. There's some big trout in here as well. I've had big trout out of here. First day, first outing of the season on Bible. I hooked straight into first cast, straight into a big trout. Felt the doof, doof. Thought we were in. First cast of the season. It was like a bloody big 3.5 pound brownie. I didn't even have my camera on time. I just feel like there's a chance of a fish today. Spring's definitely here. First couple of outings in February, there was still really hard frost and the water was unbearable. I had to keep getting in and out. And not so today. It's nice. It's about 10 degrees. It was a bit windy, but it's definitely looking a bit more like spring. Hopefully that's brought some spring fish. I think what we'll do is we'll fish this initial part down, give it a good covering with a small fly, and then I'll jump down into the stream. I don't know what it's called, I call it the stream. There's a nice fast run, goes into a long deep pool, and I'll fish that with a 15 footer with a big schnelder, and then we'll swap over vice versa. Oh, it's a bloody snag again. I thought someone got took her on the dangle there. Must be coming down to where it starts to thin out a little bit, but there's boulders dotted about what the fish lie behind, and they do lie here in the shallow water. So I've been told. I know my friend had one in between the two, what's called the meteor rock, which is a bit more towards. You've got to let the flies swing all the way around to this bank as you get further down. There's a few more rods on the water now, so I'll just come down to the next pool. I really like this bit of water. I've hooked into 2 fish here before, but I haven't landed one as yet. I think one was last March as well, if I remember rightly. Just trying to get the grips with this new rod I've just bought, a Sage TCX 15 foot 10 weight.
Fishing that big heavy schnelder now. Something big, let the fish get a look at it. If they're only here. There's another 3 or 4 rods on the water now, so I'm not going to have the luxury of taking my time to go to the pools like I did. Oh, never mind. Pool with a really nice depth there. Really nice depth, feels super fishy. Nothing as yet. The water's at a lovely height as well. Lovely height. This is definitely the best height I've fished at. Besides the wind, you couldn't ask for it to be much better, really. Obviously we are still only in March, so it's early days, but conditions are good today. Still trying to get the grips of this new rod. It's quite soft compared to the other 15 footers. A bit difficult with a 8" per second tip on. A big fly. I'll get it. It'll come with practice. I'm not putting the end of the line there on purpose, so it just brings the fly around a little bit quicker and stops it catching the bottom, because I have got an 8" per second tip on. And this pool does thin out towards the back end and all that. Next bit of water down, I've never been able to fish because it's always been too shallow when I've been, but it looks quite fishy today. I think I might give it a run through. Right, because there's a few rods on the water today, it's going to be jumping in and mixing it up in amongst the pools. I did hope to go back through that one again with a different fly, but there's a few people waiting in the cars, so I don't want to be hogging the pools. So So we'll have a stroll a bit further down to some water I've never fished before. See how we'll get on there. We'll jump back on the camera once we get there. The pool I was looking at, I think it could be worth a little chuck if anything's just waiting to go through. Not quite sure how deep it is down here, but looks like it's worth a cast. I've changed this fly. Well, I lost my fly, so I've gone for something red. Normally does well on the Tyne. Let's have a look out in the water, see how it looks. Yeah, it really stands out fantastic. That I'm definitely going to run back through that other pool with that fly. Stands out a lot brighter than the schneller, surprisingly. The peaty water of the Tyne red really stands out. Let's just get some line out. Like I say, I'm not quite sure how deep it is here, so I could be wasting my time, but hopefully it drops off a little bit. We are bumping bottom, but that's what we want. Want that fly right down, bumping the bottom. So I'll fish it down a little bit, come back, get my rod and have some lunch. Yeah, this is last couple of times I've fished this water, it's just barely being rubbed over the top of the gravel on the bottom. So it is fishable today. Nothing to say there won't be fish lying here really. A couple of foot of water. Could be anywhere. Oh, it's so nice to be back out salmon fishing. What goes wrong, I enjoy me grilling and pike fishing and other bits and bobs, but salmon is my go-to. Oh, so it's that wind. There we go. Now that was either a pull or a caught at the bottom, but it felt like a pull. That felt like a pull. I don't know if you've seen the line straighten out in the video, but I think that was a pull. Let's come that again, because I think that was a pull. I didn't feel like it caught the bottom. It was a good... Yeah, there's a big fish just rolled on the far side. There's a big fish just rolled on the far side, which could well have been the fish that I've just had to pull off that shot across there. That was a pull. I don't believe it. That was a pull. 100%. I don't believe it. Let's just try and get right over there. Let's see if we can tempt it again, because that was definitely a pull. Oh, what a shame that hasn't stuck. Yeah, definitely. That was a pull, no doubts about it. It was a good sharp foot on the line. So I'm just going to concentrate on this area for a little bit. No, that was definitely a pull. I just seen the fish come flying up and shoot out the water about 10 yards away. I don't know if you caught it on the GoPro or not, but that was definitely a fish. Don't believe it. Well, that's the first fresh fish I've actually seen this year, and that was definitely a pull. I was trying to convince myself that it wasn't, that I caught the bottom, but the water's getting deeper, and then just after I had the pull, the fish shot out of the water 10 yards to the side of it. 100% a pull. Which is very, very, very annoying. Just cover it one more time. I'll let it rest and we'll come back with a different fly after lunch. Fish, fish. Oh, it's come off. It come off. Oh no. Oh, fuck. Just check that hook. Oh, that's a disaster. I knew it was a fish. I knew. Looks up alright. Oh no. No, there's nothing wrong with them hooks. Oh, I knew how to pull the way down. I knew I did. That was hooked, so that's not going to take again. No chance. No chance. But you never know. I knew when I seen it splash over there before. Right over on that bank side. Don't know why I'm bothering now. I think it might be a kelp, didn't really do anything. It didn't take off like a springer normally would. I think it was a kelp. Oh, it's impossible to tell because sometimes the salmon just take it and they don't do anything until they wake up. I'll have one more cast, so I'll go for lunch. That is an absolute disaster. Excitement on Dilston already, and we're only in March. I had a pull as I was working my way around the pool and I wasn't sure. I thought I might just caught the bottom, and then the fish shot out the water 10 yards to the right. Nice big fresh fish. I covered it another handful of times and it took I've got a big arc in my line. By the time I tightened my line back round, got connected with the fish, a couple of seconds the hook came away, which is unfortunate. A very similar thing happened here at Dilston last year in March as well. So we'll have a spot at lunch and then we'll get back on the water, and I think we'll stick with the 6 inch per second tip. Right, so just recharged, had some dinner and a coffee, and we're going to get back to it. One of the other guys was way down to fish the pool where I just had that pull and connected with the fish. So I'm going to fish this down again. I really like to look at this pool. I always have done every time I've come here. So this time I'm going to fish it down with a 13 footer and a red fly. My back ender fly. That's very similar to my back ender fly. Just really stands out in this peaty water. Nice little bit of flash in it. There's a lovely slack bit of water over the back of that rapids, but the water's going a little bit too fast to even contemplate wading it. Right, just lost the fly. I am fishing 8 inch per second tip. I'm not too worried about losing the odd fly. I'd rather be getting right down. So I've just gone for one of my big supercharger shrimps. Nice big bright orange fly on brass with a brass cone as well. Nice bit of flash on it. This river feels like it's lifting a little bit, to be honest. It didn't have this much pull before, so it didn't seem like it. and then we'll fish this all the way down, and we'll hopefully the gentleman's finished fishing by the time we get down there, and we'll go back down the pool where I collected with the fish. We've actually connected with it in all. The only thing that's made it a little bit more bearable is that the other rod had said that he'd seen the fish where I connected with it splashing about, and he thought it might have been a kelt, so which is exactly what I thought when I hooked into it. I just thought this has to be a kelt, it's not really doing anything, it's not really going nuts like a springer does. The other two rods were having a conversation about the fish that they'd seen when I returned and told them that I'd hooked into one in the exact same spot. I'm guessing it was that kelt. But a fish is a fish. I'll take kelt at the minute. Put a little bit of movement into that at the end of the dangle there, just in case anything is followed across. This water does appear to have lifted a little bit. Just for the record, the jury's still out on that sage rod, 15 footer that I've bought. It's very soft compared to my R8, but I'll get used to it. This water's definitely lifting because it wasn't this high before. Looking down the river, I can see another 2 or 3 fishing further down, so some off the other bank, which I think is Hexham anglers if I remember rightly. I feel like I'm definitely fishing at the right depth now after connecting with that, whatever it was. Now it's just a case of putting the fly past one's nose. It's easier said than done. I'm not going to stay too late because Newcastle play Barcelona and the Champions League tonight. Obviously want to be home for that, or well before that. In my head I'm asking myself, which would you prefer, Salmon or Newcastle to beat Barcelona? I think the answer is Salmon. which is the more chance of catching a salmon, or Newcastle beating Barcelona. Probably catching a salmon. But you never know. We've been playing well in the Champions League, so fingers crossed get these a good winter night and carried into the second leg. Come on. Haven't actually had a fish on this supercharger shrimp yet, but I've tied them for somebody else who did well on them. He had 3 or 4 in one day on the tier. It's just a pattern of my own, to be honest. So I tied and took my box and I hadn't really fished it. And somebody seen it when I was on the Tweed, I think, and asked us, sent us a message on Facebook asking us to tie him some. And I got a nice message back from him a week later saying that he'd had 3 fish on it in one day on the tier. On Catholes, I think it was. Catholes, however it's pronounced. I'm actually fishing there in the start of April. It's always nice to get good feedback on your flies, that someone's had a good day on them. Especially when it's your own pattern, it's not a recognised pattern, it's just something that you come up with. The fly obviously works. Messaging me mate there, telling that well an encounter with a fish of some sort. It was either a kelp or a fresh fish. It was way too big for anything else. Way too big for a trout or anything like that. It was definitely a salmon. Whether it was last year's model, I don't know. Keep some battery when we get down to that part of the pool again. So here we'll go back in the pool where we connected with the fish before. There's a gentleman fishing a little bit further down, exactly where I connected with the fish. But we'll give this pool another good run down before we'll call it a day, I think. Change of fly. I've got a bigger fly, but a lighter fly on a 1/4 inch brass tube. It's a big dressing, the orange and yellow and black thing. No names given. I had no interest as yet. Just coming down to the spot where I hooked into the fish before. Make sure I get right on that far bank. It seems to be where all the fish I've seen here over the years are always hooking the far bank. It was no different with that fish this morning. The other rod's just confirmed that he's seen the fish again in the place where I connected with it before. It's still splashing about. I was wondering if it is a kelp or if it's a fresh fish. I would have took it either way. It would have been nice to get one in the net. However, we are getting close to where I connected with it, so different fly, you might have another go, you never know. Hopefully he fancies another try. bit of a bigger, gaudier fly. I don't know if that was a good call, if I should have went down fly size. Don't know. If it's going to be, it's going to be. That's the way I look at it these days. I don't worry too much about my fly selection, to be honest. If I can cover it, it might take. That's the way I look at it. I think I'm the only rod left on the water now. There's someone waiting patient on the other side for us to fish down, so you can get in and have a go. The water's just getting a little bit deeper. Oh, there's a cracking fish just on this side of us, roll on this other side of us. Monstrous fish just rolled right on the other side of us. How am I going to do this? Just goes to show I'm wading up the middle of the river and there's a massive fish just rolled on the other side of us, huge. Crazy. It's in such a place I can't get a bloody cast at it. Oh, it's concentrated on the side of the river. Oh, that is annoying. I've just got us thinking now that there's fish running and I'm fishing too high, too deep in the water. That was a cracking fish as well. Well, we've seen a few fish and we've connected with one, whether it be a kelp or whether it was a fresh one, I don't know. But it's getting promising. At least we're seeing fish. Let's just start wading our way back over because I don't know how deep it gets. Even though I've seen a couple of fish and it's tempting just to keep going. I'm not going to dive for them. Not today. Too much fishing to be done. I can't believe I've fished hard down that far bank and then bloody fish rolling behind us. Crazy. And I lost it. I think that was the second one. The first one in March, it just come off. It's just one of those things that just come off, no explanation. And then I've just lost one today. Still not convinced it was a springer, could have been a celt, but it was a fish. It's nice just to get one in the net. I'm very fortunate that this one's only a 15-minute drive from my house. Like I say, £30 a day. I paid just as much yesterday to go trout fishing and I'm doing it as well. Not far off. I'm just wary that I'm going to have to stop making my way to this bank because I'm pretty sure this drops off. Yeah, it's just got a step deeper. We're just going to go back to the car and reevaluate. Right, I think we're just going to call it a day. I really want to get home for the Champions League, so I think we'll just call it a day there. We might come back the back end of this week. It's doing a little lift, so we might come back then and have another go.
Right, so I've decided I'm going to call it a day and leave it at that. We've had a little bit of action. We're connected with something. I don't know if it was a springer or a celt. It was definitely a salmon. There was a lot of weight in the fish. But it wasn't on long enough to determine, there wasn't any runs or anything like that, so it wasn't on long enough to determine whether it was a celt or a fresh fish or not. I have seen a couple of fresh fish down there. The other rods have seen fresh fish down there, but one of the other rods also said that he'd seen a celt splashing about, which is pretty much where I hooked into the fish. So my first impression was it was a celt. It didn't really go off on any crazy runs or anything. It just sat still until I tightened into it, and unfortunately the hook came away. These things happen. But it's given us a little bit of encouragement to get back out. Possibly the back end of this week we'll do another little lift, and it should drop off nicely by Friday, so fingers crossed I can get back on the water Friday and get our first spring salmon of 2026. So the hunt goes on. Until next time, tight lines. Yeah, and so until next time, there's a fish just splashed in the pool behind us. You couldn't make it up as I'm packing up. You absolutely could not make it up. That's what I was just going to say. Until next time, tight lines.